Hello, everybody. Thank you so very much for clicking on and welcome to Eyes Open. Tonight it is X Files, and we've got a little bit of everything and a lot of what's going on as far as people's opinions and some facts about what's happening at the border between Texas and Mexico, and primarily the area of Eagle Pass, Texas, which has been in the news quite a bit lately. So, again, thank you very much for clicking on, and let's get started with the X Files for tonight. And we start off this with this video from it's a clip from Newsmax, and this is Governor Kevin Stitt, the Republican governor of Oklahoma, talking on Newsmax about Florida, Oklahoma, and Texas combining their National Guards to go up against the United States military.
There's rumblings that Joe Biden should or may actually federalize the National Guard, take that power away from Greg Abbott. Let's say this showdown, that's what it is. It's a showdown. It's a showdown of power and loyalties and constitutionality. Let's say he does that. How many people say, no, you know what, screw you, Biden administration, and how many people stay and fight with Texas versus the federal things, and does that put us on course for a force-on-force conflict?
I mean, right now you've got the federal agents that are cutting the wire, and then you've got the Texas National Guard on orders to put up wire. I mean, this is a powder keg worth of tension. So it's it's a very weird situation. We certainly stand with Texas on their right to defend themselves, but Biden's going to be in a tough situation. So in other words, he's going to try to federalize these troops. In other words, put them on federal orders. And so now their allegiance technically goes to the President of the United States instead of the governor. And of course, I think a lot of Texans, these are still, they're still Texans that are weekend, they're in the National Guards. They do 1 week in a month, or when they get called up on duties by the governor. Mm-hmm. And I think they would be in a difficult situation to protect their homeland or to follow what Biden's saying.
Literally open it.
Very interesting. But then, then you've got Oklahoma and Florida and Tennessee, and you got all these other states that would send our National Guard to help and to support the efforts of Governor Abbott. Because every state is a border state. You talked about fentanyl. The deaths in Oklahoma since I've taken office are up 500%. And we know that's coming across the southern border. And then you think about the terrorists. Again, I just don't know what their end game is here, and I hope American people really wake up to what's happening.
Well, Governor,
Okay, there we go. The governor of Oklahoma, Max earlier, saying that basically Oklahoma, Florida, he also threw Tennessee in there, that they would send their troops to aid Texas against the United States military. This is a lot more serious, I think, than people are taking it. Many people, anyway. Tomorrow, later on today, actually. Okay, it's 11:04. So, again, thank you for clicking on. Tomorrow, the 26th of January, is the day that Biden gave Texas a 24-hour notice to allow federal officers back into Eagle Pass. Texas has already said no, and thus if you watched the episode last night, you heard me talking about federalizing the National Guard. And it's the governor from Oklahoma there went through the consequences a little bit. If you're just watching, run it back and watch that 2-minute clip. what it will come down to for those Texas National Guard that are in state, um, they will be put in the position of choosing between your state and your country, or your country and your state. Again, I mentioned it in last night's episode. Much like in the Civil War over slavery, the many of the most talented generals picked their individual state over the federal government, and we'll see what happens. I personally, despite the fact that for the past 4 years I've been talking off and on about how much in danger we are of being in a civil conflict with each other, I do not want it to happen. That our actual enemies are not each other, and I don't think I can say that enough. Now, the governor of Oklahoma also said, Texas, Texans are Texans, or whatever he said. I'm going to play this for you. This is about a minute long, and we'll just listen, 2 minutes long. We'll listen to what this guy has to say. Again, we're just showing you things, giving you things to think about, not telling you what to think or how to think. But this is the message this particular Texas man is putting out. I don't know if you can read them or not. If you're on your phone, you probably can't. So I'll read it out. He put this out on the 19th. Texas signed the bill for Texas to become its own country. Again, this was on the 19th. We live 6 hours away from Eagle Pass. Illegal immigrants are coming your way. Here's what he has to say.
Y'all want to know how bad it is in Texas? I live 6 hours away from Eagle Pass. We've had to quit our jobs. I've had to get extra family members to move in my house to be able to watch for night shift and day shift. They're coming in. These illegal immigrants are the bad MFers. This is not the good ones. The ones that you really don't want to run into. Just look at Chicago and New York. Look how bad it is down there. Texas population, there's 13 to 14 illegal immigrants in the United States.
He meant to say 13 to 14 million. I believe the number's closer to 22 million, to be honest with you.
I'm telling you guys, we need to do something. We need to do something ASAP. Where's my real men? Where's the real men at? Where's my Texas guys at? Sign the bill, Governor Abbott. We don't care anymore. Hell with everyone else. We don't care. It's every man for himself down here.
Now, I understand why this person and many more, because he is representative. He is not a solo, okay? There are others that feel as he feels, and I understand why they feel that way. It's really dangerous to feel the way this guy's feeling. Dangerous as far as looking at the United States of America, USA, the country we love, and the country we are seeing deteriorate, and the country that we are questioning the governance of. We are on the precipice of that going away, and let's just listen.
Every man for himself out here. And trust me, we're strapped up. We got all the stuff that we need. But it's getting that bad. I hope you feel me. I hope you understand. This administration that we have in the House, if you know what I'm talking about, is a joke. They're saying they're going to...
Okay, he's talking about the U.S. House. The Republicans in the House of Representatives did not voted against funding for the border. We've heard today Trump told McConnell and the senators, do not fund controlling the border because he wants to blame it on Biden. Mitt Romney came out. I think I've got that clip. Mitt Romney came out and exposed it all. It's all political theater. They're playing with people's lives, and this is the consequence. We're hearing it. What this man is saying is real to him, and should be a message to all of us that we shouldn't allow this to happen. We shouldn't allow our country to be divided. It's exactly what China, what Russia, what North Korea, what Iran, what the entire rest of the world wants is a weakened United States. Just please keep that in mind. I've got some stuff to show you as far as New World Order. Stick around.
I'll give a fine of $5,000 and up to 3 years in prison for the Federal Reserve that helped secure it. I'm not joking. This is unreal. They're finding it I've never seen in my life. It's every man for himself down here. But it's time for a change. It's time for a change, people. We need help down here. We're not getting it. Before it's too late, we need to sign that bill and get Texas its own country. It's the only state out of the United States that can become its own country. It's Texas. We need to make it happen. I need my Texas people. We need to make it happen. We don't need to sit back on this. We don't need to sit back on this. I'm telling you, it's coming y'all's way.
And again, my personal opinion, while I understand his sentiment, it's incredibly dangerous. And again, this is not just one lone person. There are many videos from all across the spectrum suggesting the same thing. He's saying sign the bill. That's because a bill has been in the Texas State House for them to secede from the Union. I believe one has also been in the Florida House, just waiting, just sitting, waiting. 25 states have now signed a letter pledging their support to Texas and its constitutional right to defend the southern border. Alabama, Alaska, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Iowa, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Utah, Virginia, West Virginia, and Wyoming. Half of the United States of America standing up against tyranny of the Biden administration. Okay, I'm going to have to argue that, push back on that a little bit, simply because the Supreme Court, which 3 were appointed by Donald Trump, ruled that the federal government is in control of the borders of the country. So they're enforcing the Supreme Court's ruling. I don't know if it's necessarily tyranny. It is incredible irresponsibility to allow the borders to be accessed as they have been up until the point we are at now. Just for clarity. And here's what that looks like. For those that are more visual and you're watching on your computers, your laptops, your tablets, or your big screens, and you can see the visuals better. Apologies to those on phones, but here's the U.S. map, and you'll notice all of the states have Republican governors. So Peter Navarro, Trump ally advisor attorney, was sentenced today to 4 months in federal prison. It is pending appeal, and some of you may recognize Anarchy Princess. This is from earlier in the summer. She was there today as well, and a shout out to the one and only AP. Mitt Romney says, I think the border is a very important issue for Donald Trump, and the fact that he would communicate to Republican senators and congresspeople that he doesn't want us to solve the border problem because he wants to blame Biden for it is really, really appalling. Hang on, somebody's trying to get my attention here text-wise. It is the one and only Lori Arnold. Hi, Lori Arnold. Where was I? The fact that he would communicate to Republican senators. Yeah, see, this is political theater. They could have closed the border. They could have funded all of this, but instead, and Romney is a Republican, and he's not the only one that's come out about this. McConnell is still trying to broker a deal on securing the border. Can it wait until November? If the numbers that are coming across now, can we allow this to be a political football? No. If we do, we will be in a civil war. I hope you see that. I hope you can share that. I hope we can stop this. Okay, this was earlier today. This was now 25 governors have signed a letter, as we just talked about, in support of Texas. These 15 states announced earlier today that they would be sending troops and aid to Texas. And if you look at this, these states have filled in now, as well as Indiana and Ohio, and others. But that's with the letter. These states earlier said they were going to send troops potentially. Now, it looks an awful lot like the Confederacy, with addition of the mountains, the Great Plains, as far as willing to step out on that secede from the Union potentially ledge by sending your troops, because if the Texas National Guard is federalized, do you not think that any other state that is sending troops, their guard is going to be federalized too, and probably ordered to get as close as possible to either Ukraine and Russia or to the Middle East? They will be ordered somewhere other than Texas if they are federalized. And again, that is when each individual makes the decision to be loyal to their country or to be loyal to their state. And if you're just joining us, we've already ran a video showing that there are showing an example of calls that are being levied for Texas to become its own nation. Now, volunteer militias from at least 27 states have begun traveling to Texas in support of its National Guard. So we've got people that are already down there. on and have been down there, armed people, not under anyone's control necessarily, but in affiliation with various sheriff's departments. There are trucker convoys on the way. There are, now we know, militias on the way. There are going to be, and it's already tense before all these new people come. And there are cartels on the Mexican side that they look like RoboCop. They are totally funded by the Communist Party of China, and you can see it in the equipment they have, the armored personnel carriers. These aren't a bunch of drug thugs that you normally think about, or your mind has an image of from movies or things like this. These are fighting units. These are combat units. And if Texas decides to become its own country, their war may not be with the United States and the other states. It may be with with Mexico. And nobody's talking about these things. The big picture stuff. It's real easy to say, Civil War, let's secede from the Union and become our own country. The ramifications of such a move are... And I'm not saying Texas couldn't do it. All right? I'm just saying that they better understand, be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for. A right-wing extremist claiming he was fighting the Hispanic invasion of Texas killed 23 people in El Paso back in 2019. Beto O'Rourke, who ran against Abbott, thinks Abbott is inspiring 1,000 more like him. This isn't the invasion we should be worried about. So, Beto O'Rourke, the major political opponent of Greg Abbott, is saying that the actual invasion is going to come from every nut job that wants to just kill anything and everything. They're going to show up on the Texas border, and a bunch of innocent people are going to get killed. Not everybody that shows up on the Texas border is going to be a nut job. Okay? Nut jobs are going to show up on the Texas border, and innocent people are going to get killed. We need to stop all of this. Everybody needs to take a step back. And but instead, that won't be how this. There are people that really do want it to happen, and they will not in any way, shape, or form. Their lives will never be threatened by anything that goes on. I want to make sure I get the volume up. All right. Again, this is the representative video that Beto O'Rourke chose to associate with his comments.
States. So at this point, Texas, if you want a better way to spend your money, start having planes that'll bring us to you. Because there is plenty of us that is more than willing to come and stand beside you. There is plenty of us that will give their lives for this country and that has seen enough. It has gotten to the point where there's thousands of us at this point that it's just enough. We're ready to come to Texas. We're ready for battle lines to be drawn. We're ready for the fucking war to be declared. Sides have been chosen. I'm on Texas' side, obviously. Like, there's Biden supporting bitches that are on his side. At this point, the fucking lines have been drawn. The guns need to be fucking loaded. The fucking trenches need to be dug. And bitches need to die. States. So at this point, Texas, if you want a better way to spend your money...
Okay, again, just one example of many on how amped up the feelings are over all of this. And it's not just here in the United States either. Locals are now turning out en masse to support the farmers, setting fires outside of government buildings. You won't see this on the BBC or CNN. The revolution will not be televised. This is going on in Berlin. This is going on in Poland, and this is going on in Paris, France. Paris will be described as being under siege. Okay, run through the map here. All right. This is one of the, this is, I've asked the question, where will you lie if you're an armed service member? And this is what one Marine has to say in about 35 seconds.
Everybody wants my freaking opinion on what's going on in the country right now. I'm not going to give it to you. You know what I am going to tell you? If you're a Marine, if you're a service member of this country, the United States of America, you got freaking one overall job and one overall mission is to be combat ready. You understand? If something happens and we go to freaking war, then our job isn't to be ready for a PFT, it's not to be ready for a freaking CFT, it's to be ready for combat. And if the balloon goes up, you and me and everybody else, we're getting on a plane. Everybody wants my...
Okay. So, this is what those that are ready for civil war are saying, that the military, that the police forces say, I will not turn my weapon against an American citizen. If I'm asked, I will instead use my weapon to defend them. Asked to arrest an American citizen for refusing to surrender, blah, 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 blah. It's everything, the stage is being set on multiple levels to pit us against each other. The siege of Paris is about to begin. They only have 3 days of food. French farmers are preparing to besiege the French capital. Massive escalation, fight back against the globalists and their war on the farming industry. If you're a normal viewer of the show, we talked about how the World Economic Forum was talking about they wanted farming and fishing to be considered eco-terrorism crimes, serious crimes, and there's a globalist agenda. When you hear them tell you what you will be doing, you should listen to them, pay attention to them, and in my personal opinion, defy them. Okay. I just got a message about the angry Viking. That's a flashback moment. French farmers preparing to besiege the French capital. Massive escalation and fight back against the globalists. And Klaus Schwab, chairman of the World Economic Forum and architect of the policies of his globalist infiltrated governments who are waging war on farmers, may also be about to be sieged as the people push back for freedom. They are saying that because of because of cow farts, that's part of what makes the CO2 the man-made global warming crisis. We've talked about it on here. That is a farce. I've said it's a farce for years. That's why one of the reasons that did not get elected, because there was never any legitimate science behind it. Okay, never. Anyway, that's for another episode. Here is a look at the tractors rolling into Paris. I got a video coming up here as well. I thought that was the video. I got a video coming up as well. And also, the same protests are going on in Poland. We got video here of the Texas National Guard being deployed to the Texas border. And this is what I thought I was going to have just a moment ago. This is video of the farmers rolling into Paris. It's just starting, and it's starting all around the world. You're not gonna, to my knowledge, the mainstream is not telling you these things are happening. They're going to block roads, rail, attacking government buildings with manure, and now fires being lit. It's getting bad all around the world. And this guy is, in my opinion, one of the reasons why. This is Schwab, in his own words.
Au monde, on doit accepter une transparence, et je dirais même une transparence totale. Tout va être transparent. Et il faut s'habituer, il faut se comporter ainsi. Ça devient, comment dirais-je, intégré dans votre personnalité, mais si on n'a rien à cacher, il ne faut pas avoir peur.
Because you make shit up. Because governments make shit up. That's why the right to privacy is so incredibly important. And not only does this guy want you eating bugs, he wants to control your money, where you live, how you live, and I'll show you a bit of that coming up. I'm going to skip this one for now. This is a quaint little video. The Queen of England meeting Brian May of Queen. Jimmy Page, I guess I should say guitarist meeting the Queen. The Queen's not really as thrilled as the guitarists are. Brian May of Queen. Of the band Queen, meeting the Queen. May she rest in peace. Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin. Two incredible British guitar players. And if that's not enough, the gentleman you see on your left side of the screen, no, it'll be on your right side of your screen. That is Eric Clapton, and then one and only Jeff Beck. So that's our little break away from the tumultuous X-Files that we have. I told you I'd show you some information. Here it is. This comes from a book from 1992, New World Order, by John Coleman, and called Conspirators' Hierarchy. This is what the elites have planned. Now, this first paragraph is not highlighted, but I'm going to read it anyway. Euthanasia for the terminally ill and the aged shall be compensatory. No cities shall be larger than a predetermined number as described in the work of Calgary, Calgeri. Essential workers will be removed to other cities if the one they are in becomes overpopulated. Other non-essential workers will be chosen at random and sent to underpopulated cities to fill quotas. The idea is everyone lives in a city. No one owns land. No one owns their own homes. You live where you're told. And it's worse. And it's not being talked about in the media. It's being laughed at as a conspiracy theory. And all you have to do is see the videos of the people. And by the way, these people are telling us that we, man and cow farts, are responsible for the climate crisis, for global warming. And they're telling us that after they've all flown from all around the world to Davos, France in private aircraft. Now, don't you think that that might contribute a little something if it were for real? No, they think we're stupid enough that we'll never put that together. Cow farts. Not that cow farts aren't bad if you've ever been around, especially a dairy farm. Anyway, here's the highlighted part of the book. At least 4 billion, quote, useless eaters, end quote. All right, that's how we're looked at. We're looked at as useless eaters. 4 billion useless eaters. Think about how they define us. And we've allowed it to happen. What are we called? How are we referred by the mainstream media, by entertainment, by the elite? We're the consumers. All we are is consumers. They are the elite. We are just the consumers. We consume whatever they tell us to consume. Eyes open. At least 4 billion useless eaters shall be eliminated by the year 2050 by means of limited wars, organized epidemics of fatal, rapid-acting diseases, and starvation. Energy, food, and water shall be kept at subsistence levels for non-elite, starting with the white populations of Western Europe and North America, and then spreading to other races. This is why we don't want a civil war, folks. There is an enemy that can easily be vanquished. But unless we realize we're being used, we're being enslaved, unless we realize we really are at war with an elite group, that's where the real anger should be focused, not on each other. The population of Canada, Western Europe, and the United States will be decimated more rapidly than on other continents, until the world's population reaches a manageable level of 1 billion, of which 500 million will consist of Chinese and Japanese races, selected because they are people who have been regimented for centuries and who are accustomed to obeying authority without question. See, Americans, we don't do that. In certain situations we'll obey the authority, but that's not in our fabric. This is we're getting near the end. Thank you all for hanging out with me. I end up rambling and going longer than I probably should. I haven't even checked in on the chat yet. I'll get over there in just a moment. Ex-Muslim agent Ari Ben Menshai stated Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell worked for the government of Iran to blackmail American politicians. He also, I heard he worked, and this comes from Dom Lucre. This poster's liable to find himself in some stuff, but that's another episode again. Verified relationship with former Iranian This is not Iran, this is Israel. Prime Minister Eliud Barak. And I think this is probably the government of Israel too. And this guy's just false posting his own information. But nonetheless, here is just a snippet of that. You ask yourselves, why are you playing that, tying all of this together? Because we just found out that we're considered, we've known that all we are considered is merely consumers, while those elite produce actually nothing. And have never been chosen by the people elected to anything, but yet are going to tell us what we will do and when we will do it and how we will do it. I think even I could rally a mass of people behind me saying no to this. And if that's the case, much more others will be doing it. Much more effective leaders will rise once the word gets out of what the plans are and who the planners are. The veil's coming down. And there are those that are going to laugh at this and say, oh, this is nothing but a conspiracy theory. Don't fool yourselves into thinking that just because you may know somebody that's part of it and think that you're part of it, I can tell you right now, if you're watching this, you're not part of it. And that's one of the things they do. They try to make you feel like you're part of it. Same thing goes on in our government, in the upper echelons of the political parties. I'm just saying. Now, if we are looked at as useless eaters to be exterminated, that's all these kids and these women that were sexually abused. That's all they were looked at. They weren't looked at as anything of value, and that's a damn shame. But I think it's sure something to think about. And I think that is my last story for tonight. Let me check. Oh no, I'm sorry. Gates talking about the food problem. As I said, I'm showing you these people telling us what they want to do, what the plans are, and how we need to just follow along like good little.
I'm here in Dubai. This is COP28, very, very important meeting. The issue of health and climate will be discussed at length. That's never gotten the attention it deserves. The issue of food systems and how with climate change, a lot of farmers aren't able to grow their crops, which is a tragedy for them. We'll talk to absolutely solve that problem.
Okay, they're making it so farmers cannot grow their crops by pricing the diesel, by pricing everything that goes along with growing the crops. They're making it so farmers cannot profitably grow their crops, and then spinning it to because of the climate crisis, farmers just can't grow their crops. That's not what is happening. They are systematically destroying the food systems around the world. Eyes open.
I'm here in Dubai. This is.
Sorry, don't.
That's never got.
Don't want any more, Bill. That wasn't what I intended to do. White House pharmacists reportedly distributed uppers and downers like candy to Trump administration officials during his time in office. That headline is Trump's White House pharmacy handed out drugs like candy. This is according to a governmental report, which we will go into. This is my last story. Okay. This comes from James O'Keefe, and it comes James O'Keefe on the X, and this is part one. We're not going to play anywhere near all of it. This is an interview he did with Titus Warren, a Capitol Hill intern, 20 minutes long. I'm going to be wrapping up here in just a couple of minutes. After I'm done, I recommend you, if you're a Twitter user, X user, I recommend you go there and watch this. It's very telling. We're just going to listen to a few seconds here.
Hey, you're not a Trump fan, are you?
No. Donald needs to die. Donald needs to die.
Huh?
I said, well, then Donald needs to go. Majority of the work that I do is policy because that's what my degree is in.
Policy?
It's focused in policy. And so I do a lot of, that's why I go to a lot of embassies and a lot of events at the White House.
That sounds. You were the White House?
I go to the White House.
So do you have to keep your mouth kind of shut because you're working for a Republican? You can't say.
Well, I don't, yeah, I really keep it to myself.
So you're like besties with Nancy Pelosi?
Love Nancy. My picture of Nancy Pelosi and I is on my desk.
I don't know if your constituents would want to know that though, huh? Would they be
They
pissed
don't
off?
care.
Or they don't care.
If they do, they kiss the crack of my ass. There's a lot of things that I do here, and there's a lot of things that I see with my own eyes. I just hard on one line either. That man in a wheelchair, that video that came out with the guy who sent it off the building in the hearing room.
Oh yes, I saw that.
Okay.
Yeah.
The guy was blackmailed.
He was blackmailed?
Pretty much.
Whoa.
So most members, they actually have spouses. They're married. They have affairs with council people, Congress people, Congress members, getting off. They have like parties and stuff.
Like you're talking about sex parties.
Yeah, they
Whoa.
want to talk a lot.
So these parties are like, it gets hot and heavy.
Yeah, it's like an in-house thing. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. But 9 out of 10 times, everybody in there knows. But they actually, that is a fact. They actually do have these parties.
Does that happen a lot? Like people do something sexual and they blackmail? Have you seen that?
So it happens every now and then.
But they get blackmailed.
Exactly. That's,
Holy
because it's like they have a leverage of, like if you have something like that, it's called leverage. And so what they do, they use against you to get something else. Majority of the members that come late are always 9 out of 10 times come over from the night before.
From the sex party.
So on the voting, you already have a piece of paper that tells you how to vote. Known as a suggestion. It's not a suggestion.
It's not a suggestion
It's what we need you to vote.
because we have information about you.
Right. They have a group chat that they tell people how to vote.
They tell people how to vote.
Yeah.
And they get information about them and use it as blackmail.
In a way, yes.
Well, I mean, I've never been to a party like this. I've been invited to them. My instant reaction to that is, especially the blackmail piece that it seemed like this individual was talking about in this piece. That's something that I experienced firsthand.
But doesn't it make you feel like guilty sometimes?
I get my check and I'm good.
You get that money.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it's all
I like
about.
to buy nice things.
You like to buy nice things? So you get that money, you like to buy, what type of nice things do you like to buy?
So, again, getting ready to shut her down here. So, if you are on X, I recommend you go and you find James O'Keefe. This was part 1. It came out on the 24th. Part 2, I think, is out as well. And it's things that I've talked about on here before. It's the last thing tonight because Chris and I are going to talk about it tomorrow night. We'll be on at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We'll be on live, and we'll have the link up. If you want to hop up and ask a question, or you want to hop up and make a comment, tomorrow night will be the night to do so. Chris was a D.C. police officer, for those that don't know, not just, he's got a counterterrorism business at the moment. He's a military expert, and he was also over a decade on the police force at the Metro in D.C. So we're going to talk about these parties tomorrow night. He knows they're real. I know they're real. Now we've heard one of the interns say they were real. I said they were real when they exposed Cawthorn on them. So we'll talk about them tomorrow night. We'll talk about the D.C. Police Department, policing in general, and I hope you'll join us because we talk things and we get information out here that you may not and probably won't find too many other places, if anywhere else. Hello to Oomph. Not going away. Hello. Let's see. Leonard Taylor. welcome. Thank you for hopping in the chat. Of course, not going away. Thank you for everything you do. FX is tired of screwed over. Oh, not FX. I'm sorry. Texas is tired of being screwed over. Okay. Like I said, I get it. Alabama's had National Guard doing maneuvers today. Interesting. Puppet Master Ops. Trump is the wicked Z puppet. Trying to make sure I get everybody in here and say hello to everybody. Peace, love, and sunshine. Hi. Hey, I want to thank the crew at Damnation Drive-In. On their Discord. I miss Damnation Drive-In personally. I really looked forward to their episodes each, 3 times a week, and it was a good escape and have some fun and laugh and not take things too seriously because things are awfully serious now. But anyway, on their Discord they have a notification system, and they notify when certain videos are coming out. And now when one of mine comes out, the notification is the artist formerly known as Doofus, which I love that, and I thank them for that. It's still American Doofus. The name of the show is now Eyes Open because a lot of people aren't aware of a lot of things going on, and we're not going to be able to cover everything. But we are sure going to try to cover a lot of things that aren't being covered. And I hope you'll spread the word of that. And I hope you'll join us tomorrow night and maybe even come on yourself. Come on to the show. Maybe you'll even join the show. You'll click the link. You'll pop up on the screen with us, and we'll have a conversation. That's tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for watching. It's a dark world. Try to be a light. Love y'all like chocolate chip cookies. Take care of yourselves. Make sure you're prepared. Things could escalate quickly. And with all these truckers heading to Texas, who's going to be delivering food? Another one of those little unintended consequences. Talk to you tomorrow night at 9 with more. Love y'all. Thanks. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the share.